You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Fly down, my Pelicans forever. Yeah, ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, bunch of train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never. Say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican.
Yo, what's happening, family? It's DC in the building, reporting live. Pelicans post-game report. Here to present you with all things Pelicans. We have fun, entertaining, educational Pelicans talk. Educational, not educational. Yeah, but educational Pelicans talk. And as we have it tonight, the Pels played. Yeah, nobody's really excited anymore. But we only got one more game left. And we're that much closer to our goal. The Pels played the Bucks tonight as they fall short, as we knew they would, with the Bucks leading the way, trampling the Pelicans, 136, and the Pels get depucked and defeathered with 101 points tonight. So you have me, myself, riding solo at the moment right now. Shout out to Big Q. Don't know where he at. Should be joining pretty soon. Well, maybe not, depending on how soon we finish the show. We ain't really got many people watching this shit. And I don't blame you. But nonetheless, since I'm here, I'm sick of Willie Green, and I really could care less what he has to say tonight. So I ain't planning the interview. We just gonna get straight to the stats and statistics. And shout out to everybody in the chat who is here, Pelicans Nola, my boy Wallace, and whoever else is joining in that didn't feel the need to chat up yet. But let's get to these stats and I don't know why I can't say it tonight. Stats and statistics. Let's go ahead and get this on up and out the way. But before we do that, I might need to pull it up so y'all can see it. Yeah, that might work a little better. There we go. So we got your stats and statistics here. And the number one stat for me, as always, is the Pels have 59 losses. Yes, one more in the loss column. The Milwaukee Bucks go ahead and hand it to us tonight, 136-111. The first quarter, the Pels actually tried to show up and do a little something. It was 26 points to 21. Second quarter, it was 28 points to 41 for the Bucks. So, they turned it on and took the lead and never looked back really after that. The Pels came out in the third with a solid showing with 31 points, the highest quarter of the night for them, to the Bucks 38. And the Bucks go ahead and finish it out with 36 points in the fourth quarter. The Pels 26. Field goals. The Pelicans made 41 of 96 field goals. The Bucks made 49 of 90 field goals. Field goal percentage was 42.7 for the Pels to 54.4 for the Bucks. 3-point percentage. Well, 3-point field goals was 15. We made 15 out of 47. They made 18 out of 45, and the percentage on that was 31.9 for the Pels, 40% flat for the Bucks. The free throw line, which, seemed like the Pels weren't ever going to get there at stretches during this game. 14 out of 19 they converted. The Bucks converted 20 out of 30. That leaves the Pels with 73.7% and the Bucks with 66.7%. The rebounds go to the advantage of the Pels, 53 to 43. Offensive rebounds is 15 for the Pels, 7 for the Bucks. Defensive rebounds, we snagged 38, they snagged 36. Assists on the night were actually almost dead even. The Pels 28 to their 27. We had 8 steals, they had 13. 0 blocks for the Pels to 4 for the Bucks. 16 turnovers for the Pelicans to 12 turnovers for the Bucks. 21 points conceded off of those turnovers for the Pelicans to 16 points conceded for the Bucks. Fast break points, 16 points for the Pels on the fast break to 21 for the Bucks. Points in the paint was 46 points in the paint to 44. 21 fouls we registered to their 17, and the largest lead of the night was 9 for us and 28 for them. So let's get to the box score with the player statistics. Yeah, Jeremiah Robinson Earl coming out in the first quarter. I think he had like 9 points. He registered 15 on the night. He was 7 of 13, 1 for 5. I'm sorry, from the 3-point line. No free throws. He had 6 offensive rebounds, 4 defensive, 10 total, 3 assists, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, 1 personal foul. And that was in 34 minutes. Timu Naji, none other than Keon Brooks Jr., 32 minutes, 7 of 13 on the night. He was 4 for 8 from 3-point line. That's nice. 2 for 4 from the free throw line, 2 offensive rebounds, 4 defensive, 6 total, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 1 turnover, negative 22 on the night for him. 20 points, though. Carlo Makovich had some nice little splash plays here and there tonight. He was 6 for 12 from the field, 3 for 6 from the 3-point line for Carlo. Okay, showing that stretch ability. 1 offensive rebound, 9 defensive, 10 total, 1 steal, 1 turnover, 4 personal fouls, negative 16 plus or minus, 15 points on the night. Alfred Payton played 26 minutes. He was 1 for 4 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3-point line, no free throws, no offensive rebounds, 4 defensive, 15 assists, though. He was just out there conducting traffic, huh? 1 steal, 3 turnovers, negative 17 on the night, 2 points. Antonio Reeves had a little bit of an off night kind of the night. 37 minutes. He was 5 for 15, 2 for 8 from 3-point line, 4 for 6 from free throw line. So he was getting there. 4 defensive rebounds, 4 rebounds total, 3 assists, 3 steals, 1 turnover, 3 personal fouls, negative 13 on the night, and 16 points. And then you had Jamal Cain. I don't even know why he's still on the team, but he's still here. 27 minutes registered on the night, 6 for 15. He was 3 for 7 from 3-point line, 5 for 5 from free throw line, 2 offensive rebounds, 5 defensive, 7 rebounds total, 1 steal, 1 turnover, negative 18 on the night, and 20 points for Jamal Cain. So he was tied for the second leading highest scorer on the team, Jamal Cain. And, well, we see why the Bucks won. Core Kelly. I don't even know who the hell this guy is, y'all. Kalor Kelly. I'm sorry. Messing his name up. I don't know him. He was 1 for 2 on the night. Didn't take any 3-pointers, no free throws. He had 3 offensive rebounds, 4 defensive rebounds, 7 rebounds total, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, 4 personal fouls. He was a negative 12 on the night for 2 points. Then you got your man Lester Quinos, 32 minutes tonight, 8 for 22 from the field, 2 for 11 from 3-point line. It's a little rough out there, huh? 3 for 4 from free throw line, 1 offensive rebounds, 4 defensive, 5 rebounds total, 6 assists, 1 steal, 4 turnovers, 5 personal fouls, negative 22 on the night, and 21 points. And all of these illustrious stats were brought to you tonight by Giannis Antetokounmpo, who went out and ensured that the Bucks got the dub. But being honest, I think even without him, they would have still beat us, man. It really ain't nothing going on, man. It ain't no rhyme or reason to this. The Bucks playing for something, we not. Jamal Robinson Earl though tonight, I did think in stretches, even though sometimes he gets on my nerves as a player, but he always plays hard, man. And he looked real good for stretches tonight. He was one of the people that was leading that charge tonight with the Pels, getting out early to an early lead against the Bucks and actually closing out the first quarter with the lead. You got Antonio Daniels talking about how hard Willie's coaching. He's up there coaching and guys are competing. And I'm pretty sure if we listen to the post-game presser, Willie's going to talk about how proud he is of the guys. I'm just done, family. I'm sick of it. But bright spots. My man Carlo, Alfred Payton. You see those guys out there doing their thing. You got Keon Brooks. Well, he hit 4 3-pointers tonight, man. That's something to look forward to. What I've been seeing from Timu Naji. He been having some pretty solid performances. I think that's something we can build upon next year, as well as Carlo. You see, he took those 3. Well, he hit 3 3-pointers and he took 6 of them, man. If he can be a true stretch big and then come out and he's giving us 10 rebounds, you get a little bit more defensive effort in there from Carlo. Some more blocks, get better defensively, especially on the block. He has a real solid game, man. If Carlo gets a little bit of a handle, if he can find a way to handle the ball a little bit, his production might go up another notch. So ain't no telling, man. Ain't no telling what this guy can be, as well as Keon Brooks. Also just watching Antonio Reeves go through the lumps and bumps. Like I said, tonight was it's a little bit of a rough one for him tonight. He was 5 for 15, but he's still out of everybody. Him and I don't know how Jamal Cain was getting to the line, but him, Jamal Cain, and Lester Quinos, that's pretty much the only people who's getting to the free throw line really for us. Keon Brooks got there too. He had 4, but Reeves, man, you see the aggressiveness with him. Taking 15 shots, tied for the second most on the team tonight, and I just think we might have a player in him, man. If I don't know about him being a starter in this league, at least not at this point, but I think he is a solid depth piece in Antonio Reeves, and you still don't know what this kid can be. Well, I'm saying kid, man, 24 years old, what this young man could be. You know what I'm saying? He's just scratching the surface. I love his aggressiveness. I love his energy. And he always is playing hard and puts himself in really good places, basketball-wise, man, just out there doing the right thing. Rarely see him make stupid mistakes. And for him being a rookie, man, I think that's a hell of a positive. You know what I'm saying? So moving forward, we get everything out the way, and then we can just talk and bullshit till we ready to get up out of here. We might as well go ahead and cover the last game of the season, family. We got one more, and that's it. This train wreck is almost over. Just one more game against the Miami Heat, And as you can see, to nobody's surprise, the matchup indicator has correctly predicted the game. So if you got a large sum of money that you want to put down on this game, because you're going to have to put a lot of money down to be able to win anything. I don't think this is for gambling purposes, but you can use it that way. 82.3%, the matchup indicator, has in favor of the Miami Heat. And I can't disagree with them. I mean, Miami Heat is they clawing and scratching for a playoff spot. I believe at this point right now, they're somewhere listed in the play-in. I think. Let's look at the standings. Let's look at the standings real quick to make sure. But I believe Miami is right there. Yeah, they're in the 10th spot, so they're right there. But they ain't going nowhere soon because Toronto not jumping up there to get in the play-in with them. So, but they could switch seats with the Chicago Bulls or the Atlanta Hawks, depending on how many games these teams have left. So this is somewhat of a meaningful game for Miami, man. So they definitely gonna be coming out playing with some intensity. They're led by none other than Tyler Hero, who I ain't gonna lie, since Jimmy Butler left over there, Tyler been playing kind of nice. He's actually averaging more points than Trey Murphy, as you can see here on the year. He's 23.9 points. And that's, he's 3 percentage points away from being a 50% field goal shooter. That's kind of like the mark where you at least want to be a premier player in the league. But he's at 47%, still working on it, 87% free throw shooter. You got Bam leading the charge with 9 rebounds for them, and Tyler leading in assists with 5.5. So he's a man of many hats right now. We ain't got to go over our people. Y'all know what's up with them. But the injury report has Alex Burks out for them, Isaiah Stevens, Nikola Jokic, not Jokovic, but Jovic, Pelly Larson, and Kevin Love. So out of those guys, I don't see any real big impact for them, stopping them from doing anything. And our injury report is filled with a lot of healthy people. So basically, we're just going to have IG League guys playing again and our rookies. So gauging this game, man, I mean, I only can see it going one way. I would be completely surprised if the Pels were able to go here and edge out a victory some type of way. I really don't see that happening. But if it was to happen, it would shock the hell out of me. And I think it shocked the hell out of y'all too. But this is the last game of the season, so you never know how the Pels looking at this. But I think the Miami Heat go ahead and edge this one out as they're still, playing for something. They're still in contention to go out there and compete for a championship, although I don't think any of us think the Miami Heat are going to the finals or even the Eastern Conference Finals. But Miami is one of them weird teams, man. Like, you never really think they're going to do much. And then some type of way, they wind up in the thick of things. They might not get there, but they always compete and always fight. And definitely think that's what we're going to see playing against them. So it'll be another evaluation game for us. Kind of see what guys are at, what you can gauge. They held out Messi tonight, so that was a little bit of a shocker to me. And that's probably going to continue for the last game of the season as well. They finally took out the vets and Kelly Olynyk and Bruce Brown and all of them. So we've completely bowed out for the last 2 games of the season. And that's right, Knox. 60 losses in the season green. Willie Green will definitely be getting 60 losses. You feel me? Let me read through some of y'all comments, man, because we ain't got nothing but time tonight. I'm up here tonight riding dolo. I ain't really got a lot to talk about, family. They done took all the wind out of my sails with the Pels. It ain't much more to say as far as competition or us competing or the season. Everything is really based on things to come. So if anybody in the chat has anything they want to talk about, feel free to leave a comment, but I'll run through some of y'all comments tonight. It says, shout out to Pelicans Nola. Say, what's up? Big Q, DC Lex, and the family. Go Pels, man. That's right. What's happening, Wallace? Say, buy your Willie Green, fire him now. I guess you said buy your Willie Green Fire Him Now shirts. I feel that. Do your thing, DC. All right. I'm gonna do that. What's happening, Jaden? What's good with you, man? Yeah, you can't see me because my camera is not on, Jaden. It's not. I'm out and about trying to do the show, man. It's kind of expecting to talk, not host tonight, but you got to do what you got to do, man. Just like the Pels, things pop up. The Pels always got an injury. In the unfortunate case of us, things pop up. You might have to switch it up a little bit. So up in here tonight, no camera, and it's gonna be like that probably again Sunday too. But as we go on, my camera will be back live. Just ain't got it going right now. Pelicans Nola, Willie Green, Ray Charles can see you're the worst coach in the NBA. You ain't never lying. Willie has to go. Yeah, he sure do, man. You got to get up out of here. So, yeah, knocks you late. You ain't missing nothing, bro. Another Pels L. You ain't missing nothing. Riding here, Dolo, man, doing my due diligence to get this show out the way. We'll have a way better show for y'all for the last game of the season. It was Zan and Knox. We might need to give a second look at Lester Quinones. Yeah, I said the same thing, man. I think Lester got a shot on him, man. Got a quick release. He ain't scared to get that thing up either. I'm just hoping he's not a volume shooter, man, because he go out there and shoot. He led the team tonight in shots. But yeah, you definitely could give him another look. I think he's earned the ability to be able to maybe snag one of those two-way spots. You let a guy like Jamal Cain go, and I don't remember who else we had in that two-way spot. Carlo's gonna be on the active roster. I know he was there at one point. You had Antonio Reeves going in back and forth. But yeah, I think he can snag one of those spots, man, and you just never know what you might find there. And then we got the curious case of Jordan Hawkins and his back. You don't know what his long-term future is going to be with those injuries. I mean, they said he's had that in college, and the Pels were aware before they drafted him, and a lot of the stuff with him is just rest. So, that's probably other than Trey, man, probably being touted as our best shooter. And, he's had a little up and down this year as far as his ability to perform and stay on the court. So looking for more shooters, guys like Lester, man, it definitely is needed. So I feel you, man. We might need to hold on to him. Yeah, he did have a career high in points in the first half, no doubt. Pelicans Nola, no matter who the Pels draft, Willie Green cannot develop to. I mean, if the Pels draft somebody, Willie Green's still here, it'd just be utter stupidity. Everybody we drafted in the Willie Green era, he found some stupid reason to not play him. I realize that. Herb Jones is the only one that cracked the mold, man. Everybody else, it was like, they got spot minutes here and there, but he didn't really play them until it's like the back third quarter of the season. I don't understand his thought process with that or why that should be. I just don't get it. But the Willie Green will do it, man. He'll do it. So you'll mess around and get a number 2 pick, and then Willie Green roll around out here and be trying not to play the man, bro. Just don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. Like I don't understand the philosophy he has with rookies and how he develops players. But you look at your Jose's. Jose is another guy who kind of snuck in there and started getting some minutes, but I mean he's still on the bench. And you had Najee, but it's all on the bench. Like talking about guys like Trey. Really, Trey. We all know Trey should have been a starter or getting damn near starters minutes. Even looking at Dyson Daniels, he did have some injury woes here and there, but Willie wasn't giving him the proper minutes, and everybody could see what he could do, at least defensively. Like you want a defensive guy out there, you take out Herb, Dice should be in. And that wasn't always the case, especially his rookie year. As time went on, that turned into a thing. But man, Willie just late to everything. Far as that, and it took Trey to really start doing some stuff at the end of the season, or else he probably would have been not giving Trey any minutes in that playoff run. It still boggled my mind that Trey Murphy was competing for minutes with Tony Snell. And we all could see he's clearly better than Tony Snell. But Willie just kept putting Tony Snell out there for some goddamn reason. So, yeah, I feel you on that, man. Whoever we draft, don't let Willie develop them because, truth be told, they won't be developed. They won't get any development. They just gonna have to figure it out, like he told Brandon Ingram in the Thunder playoff series. So, yeah. What's happening, Slim Salt? What up, Flock Nation? It was ending, man. Pelicans NOLA, the Pels will have 60 losses in the season. Yep. Yeah, shit, I wish it could have been 63. If we could have just stopped at like 19, man, might have changed things a little bit. Because I don't think Charlotte going to mess this up. See, Slim, go Pels. Slim Salt, NOLA, go Pels, tank. No go Pels, man. Go Pels, tank. That's right. I'm with you on that, though. Slim, you're exactly right. Let's see. DC, we have Miami and OKC to play. Damn, man, you're actually right. We do have 2 more games. Why don't I look at the schedule? It only says 1. But now that I think about it, you're right, man. That's just how much I want this shit to be over. Look at the schedule here, fam. They don't say nothing about that upcoming game, but let's pull it up here. Go down here, and as you can see, that's right. We do have OKC. Damn, we gotta be back here and do this shit again tomorrow. Another L. So, well, we can make it to 61 losses. So that's a little better. But yeah, you're right. I was thinking this was the last game. Even though I knew the last game was on Sunday, but I was thinking it was the last game. I forgot about the OKC game. So my mistake, family, clearing that up. So you worried about Jordan Hawkins like I am? Yeah, I am, man. I like Hawk, but I know when you talking about back problems, man, that ain't nothing to play with. Like you look at a dude like T-Mac. What would T-Mac have been if he didn't have back issues? The discussion around him probably would be totally different. Totally different. We might be looking at T-Mac with a ring. He might have been able to win a championship. I mean, he was that good. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember what Yao's injury was. I don't think it was a back, but it could have been. I don't remember. But they had got something going with that Rocket team and him and Yao Ming, man. And just unfortunate, the string of injuries he kept dealing with. But yeah, back to Jordan Hawkins though. And backs and life or sports, it's just one of those things, man. I don't take lightly. That's a career ender in my opinion. If he gets like surgery or something, but he's young, and I really think Jordan Hawkins' issue is more of he's got to build muscle. I don't know if he's one of those type of people where it's hard for him to put on muscle because I mean he don't look like he don't have no fat on him. He ain't like skinny fat or nothing. So I don't know if that's an issue for him, but I know the more muscle you put, on your frame, like especially that back area, and he's having those issues, that can help better support, those discs and whatever he's dealing with. Putting more muscle on there holds your bones and your frame and can hold everything up and support it a lot better, man. So hopefully they have him doing the right therapy and everything, because backs ain't nothing to play with. And I think Jordan Hawkins has the potential to be an elite shooter, but he hasn't proven that yet. And then with an issue, with his back, man, Ain't no telling. You don't know if you're ever gonna see it. Do you think Willie Green will finally get fired? Yes, in the off season. The Pels ain't got enough. They ain't got enough nuts, man, to do it in the season. You see the Denver Nuggets. They out here firing their coach, man. Memphis firing their coach. Some people say the tank is in for the Lakers, so the Lakers could go ahead and figure the thing out. But nonetheless, you've had multiple coaches get fired during the season. Sacramento, Mike Brown, and every single coach we didn't see get fired. Willie Green is a worse coach now. Even if you're looking at it, engaging it off of like last season, we ain't even got to gauge it off. Gauge it off of last season. He's still a worse coach than all of the people who got fired. So I think they'll definitely let him go. Like they kind of have to, man. Somebody's got to take the hit for the season. It's too bad of a losing season for you to just hang your hat on injuries again. So we got the last 4 years. Everything was injuries, right? We just keep on saying injuries. Like they got to look to do something different, and they have to make kind of a move to shake something up. You know what I'm saying? I heard to watch some of the Shannon Sharp and Ocho show, and Pat Bell was talking about the perspective of players. And when a coach get fired, a lot of guys look around the locker room like, who's next? Because typically when a player gets fired, so does guys start getting traded. And he made that in reference to Ja Morant, who could very well be getting traded. And then you look at the Denver Nuggets, and you wonder, they fired coach and the GM. And I think something like that with the Pels is due as well. Like we need to move a guy like CJ McCollum if we can. Preferably not Trey and Zion, but depending on what you get for Zion, I don't see you being able to get anything to match what he can do. But depending on what you can get for him, you may have to consider it and actually consider if that's something he would want. I don't think so. Everything Zion has showed, said, and did seems like he wants to be here to me. I hear a lot of outside noise. I'm not one who wants to trade him. But after 6 seasons under David Griffin and Zion being here and looking at what we've been able to accomplish, you definitely have to consider it. But one thing is for sure, Willie Green need to get the hell up out of here. And that's facts. To say Slim Salt. They were chanting fire Nico from the Mavs. Willie need that same treatment. You know what? They definitely need Willie Green out of here. But I would be more fire David Griffin than to hear the Willie Green chant, to be honest, Slim Salt. Because Willie Green, to me, as bad as he is a coach, expectations for Willie never were that high. I never thought Willie was gonna take us to a ring. His first season, I kind of gave him like, okay, let's see. And then like everybody jokes about, we saw him crying, and you pretty much know, man. Like what head coach in the NBA cries after getting put out in the first round? Now, some people, I'm not gonna say crying is a sign of weakness all the time. But some people have the understanding and the self dignity to just do that in the privacy of their own setting. Like we men here, man. You can't let everybody see you vulnerable like that. He cried in front of the team and all that. That still might be a little weird for some of the players, but it's the first round, and it's like you got no sign. Like you really expected to win. Nonetheless, just when I saw him crying, and not only crying, like we joked about, he hugged Monty Williams and he wipes the tears from his eyes. At that point, man, I know the way I looked at Willie changed. The way I looked at the Pels and what they could possibly do with what they had changed. And you just kind of like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Let's see where this goes. But Willie Green, I think, has done exactly what you would expect him to do. this season and all the others, like it's just been more of the same. And I really think the person that needs to have his head on the pitchfork and to fire them is David Griffin for all the messing up he's done. Um, how he had a situation that was easily manageable, fixable, and you could have had a very strong contending team, similar to the OKC Thunder. Although they got way more draft picks than we had, and they had better draft positioning, on and on. But we weren't that far away from being a contending team in that way if we would have did the right things. But we just messed up so many of our picks. You trade players, you don't get anything back. You trade players that don't work and use draft picks to undo the messing up you did, and now we're here. Pretty much, you're kind of like back at square one. It's almost like starting off drafting Zion and you got Brandon Ingram, except it ain't Brandon Ingram, it's Trey Murphy. But you ain't got no draft picks for the future, really, now. And you have no Drew Holiday. Well, you got a DeJounte Murray, but he injured. And you do have a number, let's say 1 to 5 draft pick. We don't know what that's going to be. So, in my opinion, everything David Griffin has done has been even a worse failure than Willie Green, to be honest, man. And Willie's been pretty bad. But David Griffin has been worse. So we need to be saying fire David Griffin. Slims out for sure. He said DC got the next man up mentality. Well, hey, man, you got to do it, bro. Somebody got to do it, man. You going to come up in here and do it, Nice Villain? Slims out. Zion got to chill out with these unstable females. Leave Zion alone, man. I think this is this is damage done already type thing from what he was already doing. I think all of this is spillover from old stuff before he turned over a new leaf and changed his life, man. Give him a break. We knew what we was into last year with Zion and all the stuff start coming out. And then now you got a year later and this crazy thing with this chick. This could definitely be something that just kind of spilled over from what he already had going on, you know what I'm saying? So you see he got to be careful who he deal with, man. It wouldn't be going crazy. It was Knoxville. Herbs and Reeves almost vet at their age, experience in college. Only reason Willie gave them a chance. Yeah, you're right. When you put it in that perspective, they're a lot older and they had a lot of experience in college. Yeah, you got a point. But he didn't really give Reeves a chance, in my opinion. Like, Reeves ain't play much earlier in the season. And to me, the only reason you're seeing him right now is because they pretty much got to sit everybody. And we didn't see Reeves start getting, minutes that you could actually calculate as meaningful on the, 3/4 through the season. About 75% way through the season, the same trajectory that he puts most rookies on, in my opinion, and all of sending them back and forth to the G League and all of that. I mean, I think some guys need that, but some guys as rookies, they don't really need that all the time. But if you're not gonna play them, I guess I agree with sending them to the G League if you're not actually gonna play them. So rather do that than them not be here. Crazy Highs had me dying the other night. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Little take we had going on. I think y'all had a back. So okay, and I was feeling y'all. So it was his back too. That's crazy though, man. Back injuries ain't nothing to play with. I'm gonna take your word on that because I really don't remember, man. It's been a while. Let's see. Hawk needs consistency as well, but playing for Willie Green, that's hard to have. Definitely. See, how would you feel if we kept Green but fired Griffin? That is such a wild question to me. You got to be the only person to think like that, bro. Like, I don't. How do you fire David Griffin and keep Willie Green? How is that even possible? If the next GM stepped in and his first move was not to fire Willie Green, I would think we have somebody on the same level as David Griffin all over again. Like it won't make any sense, man. It won't make any sense. It's almost like how you get a new coach in the NFL, right? And typically the good coaches, and most of them really, unless they inherit like a multi-time Pro Bowler, excuse me. Sorry about that, family. But unless they inherit a multi-time Pro Bowler or a Hall of Fame level quarterback, the first thing the coach does is go get their own quarterback. They go get that guy. And in the NBA, they typically get their coach. So if David Griffin got fired and Willie Green didn't get fired, I would think we have another incompetent GM, in my opinion. Like, he obviously, it's either that or he's very competent, and for some reason he just didn't watch Pels game. And Willie would eventually get fired 30 games into the season or something. But you can't be a good GM and think this is a good coach. So that's my take on that, bro. We ain't running the ring with this leadership. I can agree. DC, like the Mavs fans be saying, fire Nico. All of us pals have to have the same to fire Willie, fire Willie. Again, Jaden, fire Griffin, fire Griffin. Like, why? We need to fire Willie, yeah. I agree. But we need to fire David Griffin even more. Because firing David Griffin definitely gets Willie Green fired. So, but you get Willie Green fired, and we still got some of the same issues, even without him being here. It ain't like you fire Willie Green and everything is miraculously fixed. But I will say, if you get a real coach up in there, which I think that's another issue with firing Green, like, what coach would David Griffin really hire? Will he put somebody in there who's gonna get the job done, or is he gonna put somebody else in there that he can control? So you gotta ask yourself that. I think until David Griffin gets fired, like my man Knoxville said, without with this type of leadership, like, we ain't gonna never be a contending team. Never. They may get close or they may get lucky and maybe they have a good run one year, but it won't be consistent because the things necessary to winning involves you not being a micromanager. You can't do everything and be great at everything or try to put your hands in everything and expect to be great at it. You got to have the ability to find people that are great at what they do and let them do their thing. And David Griffin has shown us he doesn't have that ability. He wants too much credit for everything. So I feel you. Fire Green, fire Willie, but fire Griffin, fire Griffin. Or you come up with some type of damn chant to fire Griffin and Green. You know what I'm saying? Be like Denver. Be like Denver. You know what I'm saying? Say something like that. Fire both of them. See. Interesting how the Zion news pops up right before the offseason yet again. Yeah, well, sometimes, man, what they say, ain't nothing like a scorned woman. Or Kelly would say, when a woman's fed up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure that young lady knows what's at stake with Zion and his image and whatever. And to me, it just seems like he probably stopped dealing with her and she's bitter. And, what's the best way I could hurt him without, I guess she's not in the circle no more. So make a big scene. She knew the police was gonna show up. Like, maybe she just really. I mean, she's obviously crazy, but the level of crazy we don't know. I don't think she was crazy and oblivious to the police would come when you're trying to run in somebody's house in a gated community where they got security and all of that. She didn't care. And as usual, her actions are gonna be a black eye on Zion because nobody really cares about her or who she is. Nobody knows her. So everybody's gonna attach to the name. So yeah, it is a shame, but he's a magnet for any type of news, man. What's the word? Polarizing. He's very polarizing. So anything connected to Zion is gonna make headlines, man. Let's see what my man Wallace. Do you think it would? Do you would think it would fire? Well, I guess you're trying to say, do you think they would fire Willie Green and Griff? Do you think we can get to the playoffs next year with a good coach? I definitely think we can get to the playoffs next year with a good coach, even if David Griffin is still here, which I don't want him to be here, and I don't think they will fire Willie Green and David Griffin. But I do understand that the power we have as people who support the Pelicans is to voice, our testament of what we see should happen and how our money should be getting spent and what they should do because we're the people supporting them. So with all of the pressure of the constant pressure on him, I think it puts him under the microscope. Willie Green is already set up to be the fall guy. He's already set up to just be knocked off the board and give David Griffin another fresh slate until he messes up again. But with the family putting the pressure on him and being there saying that, two things will happen. One, we would definitely hear less of David Griffin, which would be a pleasure. He gonna go hide in the hole because he don't like confrontation and controversy. You see that anytime it gets rough or things get difficult, David Griffin ain't nowhere to be found. He only come out for the good times. He only come out to talk positive or talk up the team. He never comes out to talk about what's going on, what we're going through, and give explanations to why things are the way they are. Like real good GMs do. They don't always have to reveal their hand and everything they're going to do, but they will at least give you some form of perspective of what's happening and, how they plan to move going forward instead of we'll figure it out. And then don't figure it out. Okay, you said you'll figure it out. You didn't, so you should be fired. If you came out and said, well, it might take a little time to fix this, da 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 da, whatever, we'll figure it out. For real. And then you're going to come back and tell us injuries, which, I mean, it's been injuries since you got here, bro. Maybe you the reason they keep getting injured. Everybody been injured since you got here. Get out. So I don't think they would do it, Wallace, but even with David Griffin here, and you actually hire a competent coach, I think we definitely could make it to the playoffs in the stacked West. I think the Pels would get in. It depends on who they draft to and the health of DeJounte Murray. A few things got to fall into place. And I think they definitely make it, like, in the playoffs, not being a play-in. I think they can do that. But we still a little ways away from being an actual contender, though. We can get in the playoffs and, get our feathers wet. But us being a contender, we still got some work to do. DC is crazy how guys like Taylor Jenkins and Mike Malone do not have a job no more, but Willie Green still have a job. This is crazy. Very crazy, man. I feel like we living in the Twilight Zone, Jaden, man. Every time I think about it, I'm like, how in the hell? How in the hell? A lot of the coaches on, like, the losing teams, like the The Wizards, I don't even know who the Wizards coach is, man. I don't remember who he is. Is it Unshield over there? I don't remember. And you got Brooklyn, Charles Lee. A lot of these guys, they got new head coaches. So it's like, okay. But the Pels, like, Willie been here 4 years, man. Like, this ain't changing. The hell, he still got a job, and them guys get fired. Hey, don't forget about old boy from Sacramento. Sacramento's coach too. I don't know why I can't remember his name right now. I could see his face, them glasses and that bald head. Mike Brown. Don't forget to put Mike Brown in there too, Jay. It's definitely crazy, bro. Let's look at the positive of the season. Well, I say the positive of the season, Don Dada 432. What's happening with you, bro? The positive of the season is we got some rookies that I think can be, players that we can actually use. Yves Misi has proven a lot. Antonio Reeves looks to be a nice, solid depth piece. Trey Murphy has came into his own and expanded his game. I think they figured something out with Zion. I do have to give him credit, even though everybody, complains about the minutes restrictions on Zion. I'm like, man, he was more effective than I've seen him be in a long time. And he doesn't really look like he was getting hurt. I mean, you had those injuries listed, but I think a lot of that was just BS because we're tanking. I don't think Zion was ever really hurt after the initial injury he had against Cleveland. And you got to remember how impactful that was. That's another positive. Cleveland, man, let's see what Cleveland's record is. Let me go and look. I don't remember what Cleveland's record is, man. I just want to state this correctly. How many wins do they have on the season? Cleveland is 62-16, fam. 62-16. And if Zion wouldn't have got hurt playing Cleveland, we was going to beat them. The writing was on the wall, man. He had completely took over and dominated that game. And he got hurt. So you do have a lot of positives. You have a lot of positives. But I guess while we harp on the Pels, you would speak this negativity. Because a lot of the Pels issues are them getting in their own way, man. You have a lot of things here that you can do something with, but it takes a strategy. It takes a competent coach in front office and to put the right pieces around what you actually have, because we're still incomplete in some areas. Like we've needed point guards forever, and we just fail at getting point guards for some reason. I don't know why it's taking so long to get a point. We've pretty much needed a point guard since we got rid of Lonzo Ball. We never replaced him. But the other positive, Don Dada, since we focusing on positivity while you talking about this, we're going to have a pick probably 1 through 5, I think, at least. I seriously don't see it being lower than 6. I think the highest we possibly will be is 2. I don't see us getting the number 1 pick. So that's a lot to look forward to. You know what I'm saying? Definitely can't be mad at that, man. But it's kind of hard to see a positivity in the midst of all this negativity that keep running across my screen when I turn the game on. But I feel you. Let's try and look at the positive. But I ain't going to ignore the negative though, bro. Okay, what type of player you think should be our number 1 priority in free agency? That's good, man. I would look to make a big swing, to be honest, but I don't think we have any big swing free agents available. I think our most impactful move would probably have to come through trades. I mean, you got guys like the Dante Sabonis, that may be available. Also DeMar DeRozan, but I don't know how much he helps us. But if you were able to get him, I don't think he hurts the team. But how big of an improvement it would be versus what you got to pay him, I don't know. You got somebody like Ja, who may be available, which I think that might be a little bit of a stretch. I can't see them after everything they done been through with him, and to just get off that now, like I don't know. But according to Sport Track, we got here, we got guys like wait, LeBron's a free agent? That's kind of crazy. LeBron's a free agent right now? Hold on 1 second, fam. Let me see something. That's really crazy though. Here we go. Let me see if I can pull it up here. There you go. So you got LeBron, which that's got to be like a player option or something. Fred VanVleet, Kyrie Irving, interesting. James Harden, but all of these look like player options. And this is a club option for Fred VanVleet. They're definitely probably going to get off Fred VanVleet for 42 mil. So he might be out there. That ain't a bad player to get, depending on who you draft. You got a guy like John Collins, which looks like he's got a player option for 26 mil. I don't see him opting out of that. Chris Middleton, Julius Randle, but all of these are player options. I don't think they're opting out. Brook Lopez, Clint Capella, Bruce Brown, who's playing for us. He's definitely not coming back for 22 million, man. Man, he swindled the hell out of Toronto. 22 million. I know he's coming off that championship, but damn. Miles Turner. There we go. Ding, ding, ding. That would be my pick right there. I'm trying to get Miles Turner. He's from the city. I think he's the perfect center to put around Zion. You could still keep Kelly Olynyk for 1 year and having those two guys, not putting a lot of pressure on Yves, but also allowing him to play a bit too. I think that would be awesome, man. Miles Turner, Kelly Olynyk, Yves Missi, and Carlo Makovich. That's your four bigs, man. You can play some two big lineups and really get after it, with Zion, and you don't have to worry about not being able to not spread the floor because you got two bigs in him and Kelly Olynyk that can shoot. I think something like that is deadly. I'm really looking forward to the Pels kind of transforming their style of play. That's why I want an impactful coach, because the Pels with Zion, man, you have such a unique blend where you can have somebody, or not somebody, but you can have something new. Like the way we can attack the game can be something that hasn't been seen before. But it takes an innovative mind, a creative mind to bring that about. So for me, that would be number one on my board, man. Miles Turner. Getting somebody like a backup, depending on who we draft, we don't get a point guard, bring somebody on board like Malcolm Brogdon too, I think would be a good look, as well as keeping Alfred Payton. Both of them, like depending on who we draft, like Malcolm Brogdon can be a fill-in starter if you want to wait. They don't draft a point guard, right? And DeJounte's still getting healthy. You can definitely put Malcolm Brogdon in that spot and let him man the team and tell you trying to figure it out. I think he's good enough to do that. And he ain't going to cost 20, 22 million like you see here. Tim Hardaway Jr., I pass. Duncan Robinson, I pass. D'Angelo Russell, for the right price, wouldn't be mad at that. I like Nas Reed at the right price. He's definitely gonna opt out of that 13 million player option. But do I really want to pay Nas Reed like the same type of money I'd be willing to pay Miles Turner? I don't know about that. Uh, Dorian Finney-Smith Jr. Not a bad look. Chris Boucher, not a bad player. I'm not sure how he works here, man. We don't need a guy like Chris Boucher to man the front court. We need somebody with more defensive capabilities. Steven Adams, Marvin Bagley. Wait, Marvin Bagley's in Memphis? Wow, he just disappeared over there. Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder wouldn't be horrible, but I'm pretty sure he's probably gonna re-up with the Pistons, man. He's been playing pretty solid over there. Oh, Wagner, Motez Wagner. This will be a good get too, but he's got a club option. They're gonna keep him for 11 million. Joe Ingles, I wouldn't be mad at that. Yeah, I don't think it really fits though. Chris Paul, it's a lot of chirping about the Chris Paul return. I wouldn't be mad at Chris Paul coming back here for 1 year, and especially if we get like Dylan Harper or something like that, and you got a Chris Paul reunion with DeJounte Hurd. I think all of that will kind of work out in positive in the end. I'm not sure how it would go that first year, but depending on how much you got to pay Chris Paul, I don't think that would be a bad move. Gary Payton III, Kelly Oubre, nah, pass. Trey Lyles, Josh Giddey, restricted. Kevin Looney, wouldn't be mad at us picking up Kevin Looney. So a lot of my stuff is still going after another bigs, point guards, 3-and-D players. And I think it's just pretty much the best player you could get in any category. I really wouldn't, I guess, put a need on it because you really need all three. But you got to work through free agency. You got to work through the draft. You got to try to do what you can do. Not seeing a whole lot of great options here, but there are some. Malik Beasley would be a nice get if we got off of CJ McCullough, but ain't no way in hell Detroit not bringing Malik Beasley back. They're going to get rid of somebody to give him his money. Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Would y'all be interested in the Nickeil Alexander-Walker reunion? I wouldn't be mad at him coming back. I mean, it don't drastically change the outcome of our team. We still need other stuff. But I never thought he was a problem. I just thought he needed a little more time and some more coaching. But wouldn't be bad at an NAW return. Terrence Mann. Yeah, he's restricted. Let's see, Jake Rivera. They got a lot of guys out here, man. Dougie McBuckets. Nah, pass on Dougie. Wouldn't be a horrible signing, though. Spencer Dinwiddie. I think that could work for a year, short-term contract. But yeah, list goes on and on, man. I'm not about to keep going through everybody. You got some players out there, but I'd definitely be interested in more of a 3-and-D type guy and point guard or get a big, man. And if I'm getting a big, they need to be like really good. I don't want anybody there just for a body, like a very impactful center, man. Because to me, I like Yves, but I still think he's like 2-3 years away. And if you can find a center that can have respectable defense and can stretch the court, like I think that's the best with Zion, man. I think that goes overlooked a lot of times with some people. You know, when people talk about, especially like, you know, the major media, when they talk about Zion, you need to surround him with shooters, and it'll look totally different. And how he gets fouled and beat up in the paint, all of that would change. Like you put a lot more shooting around him and like knockdown shooters, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're doing it and you got guys that can do that from the center position. Kelly Olynyk, then man, look, you get him about a 3-4 year contract right now. To me, I don't think that shot going nowhere. His defense and some of his other abilities may leave, but he's an intelligent basketball player too. So I would lock up Kelly Olynyk as like one of my reserve bigs. What he's done in a short period of time, I think has been awesome. And I would look for a player like of his status, but like way better, to actually man the backcourt with Zion for years while you're developing Yves, and you still can play him in the mix of that because you can run two big lineups. So it ain't like Yves don't have to get no minutes. And Carlo, he's shown promise, and you could throw him in the mix with that too. So I'm after seeing Zion at the 3, I'm all about the two big lineups. And you have some two big guys that can shoot, maybe play the 4, or at least you have a lineup like that you can run sometimes. You ain't got to do it all the time. And just everybody who out there with Zion, I would like them to have the ability to at least hit some knockdown 3-pointers. They ain't all got to be snipers, but you got to be able to hit them, man, and hit them at a high clip to where the defense will respect you. But moving on, let's see. Let's look at a positive to the season. If we was close to the 10th seed, Ingram, Theis, and Javante still on the team, Carlo Reeves and Brooks still in the G League, and we will be drafting 10th and running it back. You know what? You're absolutely right, Dundad. I ain't got no gripes with that, because, man, another playing year, oh, man, that would actually be worse than what we experienced this year. It's like sinking in quicksand, man. See, Knoxville, she was obviously crazy. She was obviously crazy in the pit. All right, Knoxville. See, agreed, fire the octopus. See, I expect them to clean house next week. Okay, Stacy, so they're going to follow the old trajectory of doing the right thing, right? They're going to do it the old-fashioned way and, give him the respect of finishing out the season and all of that, and then they're going to announce it next week. I hope you're right, bro, but this just ain't – the Pels just never operate that way. That would be the way you're going to do it if you're going to keep them all year, but I don't know, man. You never know with the damn Pels. I appreciate you, Wallace Smith. No problem, man. Told me thanks. Facts. Let's see what else we got. I swear, if we're going into the offseason, look for good human beings again, I'm gonna lose it. Man, I want some crazy bad human beings, bro. We got too many good human beings. We need some balance. We need some bad human beings, so the good human beings can help out some of the bad people, and the bad people can help some of the good human beings stop getting taken advantage of. It all works for everybody. We need some bad people, man. All these good human beings crap, man. We're getting run over with all these good human beings. Good human beings appear on the Pelicans to get hurt too much. Maybe we need some bad people who don't never get hurt. See, this house is on fire, but at least we got good human beings in the building. Do they have fire extinguishers, though? Good human beings don't know how to put out fire? At least on the Pels, they don't. We need some bad human beings to put the fire out. He is the reason that's part of being a GM and a team president, adding healthy players. I agree, Stacy. You keep finding all these injury-prone ass people. It's either that or we making them injury-prone, and either way, that still kind of falls on the GM, because you should have a system in the program to where guys don't get hurt, right? So I totally agree, bro. Totally agree. See, we're in the low light zone with the secret contracts, dun dun dun, and the twisted piano playing GM. See, the positive is almost over. Yeah, Yves Misi is a positive too. It's over. That's right. See, pick 4 was ours, best CP3. I don't know. You got to give me more clarity on what you mean by that, brother. Let's see. John Collins would be super interesting. Uh, yeah, yeah. I think John Collins at the right price. You know, $18 million range, something like that, $20 million range. I don't think it's horrible. John Collins is actually a solid player, and I think he works with what we have. So yeah, I ain't mad at that. Definitely will work. Stacy also agrees. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Miles Turner, I think, is the best fit. He's the best fit, and then after that, John Collins probably would be a pretty good fit too. But man, you get Miles Turner, you swing for the fences for that. And I don't know, Indiana, they got him going into he still don't have a contract, so he definitely going somewhere. So do we have the cap space though? Well, we have Bruce Bruce Brown who's occupying $22 million in cap space. So let's see. Let's look at see, can we look at our cap space on Sport Track? So CJ McCollum 2026. Yeah, CJ McCollum still eating up 30 million. DeJounte's eating up 30 million. Zion's 39 million. Trey Murphy 25. You might be on to something. You might be on to something, bro. I don't know if we got enough cap space to get Miles Turner. We would have to do some type of sign and trade with somebody. Because I think Miles Turner is going that's another $30 million contract. I don't think he's gonna get a demotion from what he's currently getting paid. So yeah, you bring up an interesting point, Stacy. Let's see. We need a fume junkie type coach. Yeah, anybody with some type of creativity, man. We need that, and we need a coach who can actually stand up and fight for his players. Because we haven't had that. And if you could get it in a younger package, that probably would be better, but I don't think it's totally necessary. See, a ruthless basketball nerd, no doubt. We don't have the cap space. Yeah, you're right. CJ McCullough has to go. Yeah. CP3 is retiring? Okay, well, that ain't gonna happen. We're not getting none of these dudes. Not gonna have the cap space. Man. I mean, it depends on what some. I mean, everybody I mentioned, you don't have to have cap space for. Miles Turner, obviously get that one. We might not be able to happen because of the cap space, but a lot of other guys I was mentioning, man, they don't command a whole bunch of money. Like we got a dude with 22 million coming off our books, this year. So, but I understand Trey probably eating up 25 of that. But I still think we can work something out with some of the free agents, but pretty much we got to swing for the fence in the draft. So you ain't totally wrong, but some of those guys I think we get. Like I think we can definitely get damn man. Brain ain't working right now. I can't remember the goddamn name. Dude from Utah, who over there in Utah we was just talking about came from Atlanta. We can definitely get him. Go back in the comments and look. I can't think of his name. I was just talking about the dude, man. Just John Collins. We can definitely get John Collins, my brother. Like, I don't think he's gonna command as much as he was making. And if he does, we probably can push it back or have him take the way they do the contract, so it's spread out differently. I think they can figure something out to get a John Collins. I really don't see CJ on this team next year. Well, that ain't what the contract says, so we got to figure out how to trade him if you don't see him, man. see, who's going to take CJ in a trade at his age and contract? The only team I think would do that is just somebody who felt like CJ was the last perfect piece to them winning a championship. And obviously, on top of that, they got to have a cap space. So it's very limited teams, man. Somebody might do it as an expiring, but you almost would have to do them a favor and take on somebody's contract that they can't get off of. So it have to be that type of thing. If John Collins signs back into his contract, maybe you could do it with Utah. But still, that won't make any sense because I think he is a player option now. Looks like it's only for 1 year with him. So I don't know. It definitely would have to be a desperate team, like you said, Knoxville. Let's see. Switchability is key, always. Pels never do right. Nah, they don't, man. Need some Zion girlfriend kind of human beings. Push the 25-26 button. 2 more games, Stacy. You know, we got to come back here tomorrow night, do it again, man. And then Sunday, and it's up, bro. It's up. It's up after Sunday, man. See, in DC, we are over the first apron with only 10 contract players, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to do this and talk to y'all. Where's our salary breakdown? Here we go. So cap maximum, yeah, it's looking at 172. So we're definitely over the first apron. No, it says we got 21 million right here. Right here, Stacy. And the second apron would be 33. So we right up too. But I mean, that's kind of, they always flirting with it. They're always flirting with it. But I guess the cap goes up next year. So because the cap maximum is 154, but we 172. We going right on up with it. We was 168 this year, so we do have a little room, but 21 million. I definitely don't think that's enough room to get a Miles Turner. I don't know how you fit that in without you got to move somebody. So yeah, we can do something, but not a whole lot. A big swing move would have to come in a trade, but maybe you could work out some type of signing trade with Indiana. Maybe they feel they want to do right by Miles Turner, by him being there all them years, and they're willing to take back somebody. Maybe we have to give up somebody we wouldn't really want to give up that could just open up just enough space. Like, I don't want to give up Jordan Hawkins, but Jordan Hawkins and a combination of somebody else to open up another 7-8 million, depending on what you're trying to pay Miles Turner. Let's say you're trying to give him 20, 25 or something like that, and you can open up another $7 to $10 million shipping some players to Indiana so they can get something for him leaving. Could be possible. Long shot, but could be possible. Let's see. DC, I know. You want Willie Green and David Griffin fired. But if you had to choose only one to go, who would you choose between the two? DC, you know me. Where's the secret contract? Dun, dun, dun. If I had to choose one, I'm choosing David Griffin. Because like I said earlier, man, if you get David Griffin out of here and you get a competent GM in there, by default, that competent GM is eventually going to get rid of Willie Green anyway, and it ain't going to take that long. So I'm choosing David Griffin. David Griffin got to go. Awful GM. That's right. He did an awful job setting us up for the future. No doubt. What's up, Bird Talk? You miss Bi. What you miss about him? He ain't played since he left. I guess his personality, but no doubt, Bi was a hell of a player for us. I feel that. So that trade was awful. It definitely was, bro. We got we got suckered in that trade, but we got to see. You never know next year. I don't think that pick gonna be much because they look like they gearing up to be pretty solid next year in the East. But still got to see what we can get from that first round pick to properly assess it. But so far, it's not looking great. But I like Kelly Olynyk though. Kelly Olynyk is definitely a bright spot in that trade. Hopefully, we can hold on to him. A sucker is born every day. I guess you talk about that CJ contract, huh? Let's see. Could someone eat his contract for draft compensation? I don't know, man. $30 million for draft compensation? What are you giving him? A first round pick? Second round picks ain't gonna do it, man, for $30 million. I don't think so. And you got to remember, we gave up. Was it 4? I think it might have been 4 or 5 second round picks just to get off Devontae Graham. That was crazy. Gave up 4 or 5 second round picks to get off Devontae Graham to a team in our division, the San Antonio Spurs. Stupid. Had to get off of 5 first round picks to get off Devontae Graham. Man. I don't remember if it was 5 or 4, but it was too damn many. It was more than 2. Let's see. The Jazz has Collins, and he and CJ McCullough are similar players, so the Jazz won't take CJ. Colin Sexton. Man, you never know, man. You never know. You're probably right, but you never know. Let's see. We're not in bad position. We just got to pimp it. Let's see. CJ can go to the Wizards of Brooklyn. If you willing to pay him, bro. If you willing to pay him. Because they definitely going to want some draft compensation. And like I said, it's got to be like first round pick. I don't know if I want CJ going that bad in 1 year to be giving up a first round pick to get off of him. No, we don't have 21 mil because Zion contract doesn't reflect fully because it's not fully guaranteed. I mean, Zion didn't meet the standards of his contract to get a full contract. So will we have more than? Okay, Stacy. So you say Sport Track doesn't fully reflect because of Zion's contract. Well, look, Stacy. We got probably about maybe 5 to 10 more minutes. See if you could pull up some numbers for me, man, and hit them in the chat, and we can talk about it. Let's see. DC saw Kevin Porter Jr. put on the ground. Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, Jamal Cain. I said John McCain. That's what he looked like to me. An old ass man. Got put on the ground, laid out there. I saw that. Let's see. We won the BI trade. He wasn't going to play for us ever again. I wouldn't say we won the trade, but maybe he wasn't going to play for us ever again. I think we reached a point to where the trade was unwinnable, and we just had to take what we could get. I wouldn't say we won it, but he definitely could have got a lot more if we would have did that a lot sooner. So I don't think we won it. How those picks look now? Griffin was sticking forks in sockets as a kid, I swear. Yeah, you're probably right. And now that the second pick is in Charlotte in the draft, I don't know necessarily that Charlotte has the second pick, man. I don't. Oh, you talking about when we was gonna bust that trade for him? I guess we could have had Brandon Miller when they were saying that, sent Bi to Charlotte, and we got Brandon Miller. Yeah. You had the whole Scoot Henderson thing out there for Zion and Bi for Brandon Miller going at the same time. I don't know, man. I wonder how true that was. Is there any validity to that? I don't know. But if it was, man, yeah, that's a hell of a slip because Brandon Miller would definitely help a lot right now. And he from Alabama too, so yeah, great chemistry with Herb. Can you imagine Zion, Brandon Miller, Herb, Trey, and then you got your center. That could be a solid starting lineup. Damn, I'm forgetting about DeJounte, but still, nonetheless, Brandon Miller's a ball player, man, hell of a player. Say Charlotte has it the second pick. Oh, you talking about this? How do you know Charlotte has the second? Oh, the second round pick. Oh, okay. I thought you was talking about when they had the second pick with Brandon Miller. Okay. Yeah, but I think they got the second pick because something San Antonio did, right? But damn, I know we traded a pick to get Devontae Graham, and then we had to trade picks to get off him. I think we had a first round or something from somebody we traded to get Devontae Graham. Let me look up the Devontae Graham trade before we get out of it, man. Y'all got me thinking about this. Because that to get him and to get rid of him was, oh man, it was just ridiculous. It was a hell of a blunder. David Griffin got finesse with that. Yeah, so the San Antonio traded Devontae Graham. They traded him back to Charlotte, where he originally came from, and they gave him one of our second round picks, cash consideration, and our 2025 second round pick. But let's see, Devontae Graham trade from New Orleans Pelicans. Devontae Graham trade for Josh Richardson. So we got Josh Richardson, and we sent them 4 second round draft picks. So we sent 4 second round draft picks to the Spurs to get off Devontae Graham. They kept him for 1 year, and then just gave up 1 second round draft pick to send him to Charlotte. So they got 3 second round draft picks for the Devontae Graham from us, and he ain't even on the team no more. They only had to keep him for 1 year. Man, it's you can't make this shit up, bro. It is absolutely crazy. If this isn't firsthand proof that David Griffin is a horrible, probably one of the worst GMs. I don't know, Nico giving him a run for his money. But it's wow. Oh, it said 4 second round draft for Devontae Graham. And then we cash strapped. So we actually could really use those second round picks to fill out our roster. Like, we actually need them. And then, they say this about a lot of drafts, but you're looking at the 2025, 2026 drafts. Why would you give up your second round draft picks in those drafts? Absolutely ridiculous, man. Just idiotic. Just idiotic. Let me look up and see what I remember to get him. I thought we had to give up first round to get him too. Thought we had to give up a first round to get. I know it was like in the off season we got him, but I believe we gave up a first round pick to get him. Traded. It was a sign and trade. Let me see. Yeah, they got Jonas Valanciunas and Devontae Graham. It was a 3-team deal. So let me see. The Pelicans have acquired some of Jonas Valanciunas for the draft rights to 2021 first round draft pick. Trey Murphy overall, 2021 second round draft pick, Brandon Boston. from the Grizzlies. So damn, we signed Brandon Boston to the Grizzlies, and then we wound up still getting Brandon Boston back after we drafted him. In exchange, New Orleans has conveyed center Steven Adams, guard Eric Bledsoe draft rights to the 2021 first round draft pick. Zaire Williams second. See where I'm at. Second round pick Jared Butler and a protected 2022 first round pick to Memphis. Additionally, the Pels have acquired guard Devontae Graham from Houston in exchange for forward Wes Awindu, a future protected first round draft pick and cash consideration as a part of a 3-team deal. Memphis has traded the draft rights of Taylor Harvey, the 51st overall pick in 2015 draft. So it's a future first that we traded to them to get Devontae Graham. Then we traded 4 second round draft picks to get rid of him. That's 5 picks for Devontae fucking Graham. Insane, man. That is a fireable offense alone. Just that right there. Ridiculous, man. All because you messed up and got Eric Bledsoe and Steven Adams and were desperate for a way out of it. Now, the Jonas Valanciunas part of it actually did work out. You know, I'm glad we had him. Shit, think we'd have been better off. We kept him on the team. But we could have did without Devontae Graham. Shit, I mean, it might have just been better to pay Lonzo Ball. Even though he was going to get hurt and everything. It only would have been $20 million. You gave Devontae Graham probably like $12 million, $8 more million, and you'd had 5 more draft picks. Shit, we should have just kept Lonzo Ball, man. Get a man the money you wanted. Stupid. I mean, second round pick for this draft. Right. Yes, because of San Antonio and Devontae Graham started with Charlotte in the first place. In full circle. So Charlotte then finessed. They got off Devontae Graham, got a first and a second out of it. The Spurs, for their troubles in helping finesse us, got 3 second round draft picks out the deal, and we left whole in the bag. Man, just stupid franchise, man. People just pick on us, man. Nobody respects David Griffin, man. This shit is horrible. The one thing I thought he was actually good at, he failed horribly at that. I always thought David Griffin, I'm like, well, he pulls off trades and he swings and gets players. Like, he ain't found a way to fuck all that up too. That was the main thing I was saying when he came here. And I was like, well, yeah, it probably all was LeBron, pretty much. That's how I was looking at this point. The early second is going to be huge in this deep draft. Right. Could have had an early second round draft pick that Mr. Stupid. I mean, shit, we could have kept Lonzo Ball or just kept Devontae Graham. Like we was going to contend anyway. When they got rid of Devontae Graham during the middle of the season, I mean, did that set us up for playoff success or something? Like, no, it ain't make a difference. But it freed up some money so we can sign with guys like Javonte Green. You know what I'm saying? We didn't keep Najee. You know, when we were talking about getting rid of Devontae, it was so we could keep guys like Najee. I guess you got to keep Jose out of the deal. You paid him a little more money. So that would probably be the one player. Okay, you can't pay Devontae $12 million a year. And, you know, the little money we came up to keep Jose, which you still ain't paying him a whole lot. Like, it's just crazy, man. All that. So you keep CJ. So you do all that shit. Still nowhere. Damn, 2025 second round pick this year will be useful. Exactly. See, DC. What area been worse, the Dennis Allen or the Willie Green era? Dennis Allen, bro. The Dennis Allen era actually was worse. At least Willie Green had some winning seasons. Dennis Allen, he never registered a winning season. And with the Saints or any other team, like, he just never was a winning coach ever. And then you had Mickey Loomis get up there chewing bubblegum and start comparing Dennis Allen to Chuck Noll and shit, man. New Orleans sports been in the dumps the last 3 years, man. Let's see. DC, I came on in December and warned everyone of this. Yeah, you did. You did, Stacy. I ain't gonna lie. Nah, he was for real. See, I talked about all of this back on Black Friday. Yeah, we did. I'm just bringing it up again, man. I'm not rehashing it like it's something we haven't talked about before. It's just putting more emphasis on it. We talked about this before too. Like when it happened, real time. We brought up all of the details and talked about how idiotic it was. It's just now we in 2025, man. We at the bottom of the league. Like, man, we really could have used that second round pick, man. It looked even worse than it initially did, and we thought it looked horrible then. Like, you didn't think it could get worse, but it did. So, DC, one football question. What do you think Kellen Moore's first play call will be for the Saints in the 2025 season? I think it depends on who we get. I think it depends on who we get in the draft, man. If they get some type of impact player in the draft, but if I had to guess, the first play of the season is usually it's going to be some type of running play. I would think. Derek Carr ain't the type of quarterback like we going to drop back and do some type of slant or try something on first down with Derek Carr. I don't see it. It's going to be some type of run to AK or maybe Taysom Hill. Maybe they run some trickery, some type of motion with Taysom Hill in the backfield and either a sweep to AK after faking the handoff to Taysom, giving it to Taysom up the middle or something. I think it might be like a little trickeration with the formation switching or something like that. Well, I'm talking about formation with motion, not formation switching, but motion. There's only one way to fix this mess he created, and that's to trade Zion. Yeah, I'm out on that one, Stacey. You trade Zion, he fired, so that ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. And I think a competent GM could come through and clean a lot of stuff up. Like I don't think it's unfixable, but it takes some creativity. And you obviously got to hit on your draft picks, and we can't give away any more draft picks unless we're going for a swing for the fences type move, and it got to be the right fit. So it's more than one way to get out of it. But I ain't trading Zion though. It just don't make sense. You show me a trade that makes sense, then maybe I think about it. But like, if Zion really won't be here, you know what I'm saying, for real, which I don't see any indications that he don't. And if what we saw this year is any indication of where things are going with Zion, I really don't see the point in trading him. I ain't doing that. Jose is getting breadcrumbs. Yeah, he ain't getting much. Say I'm all in on Zion. I don't care. For real, man. Like, I don't see any point in trading Zion. Stacey, I don't see it because, well, at least if you are going to trade him, you got to let him play out this year. You got to let him show he can be healthy, be dominant, and you're not going to get nothing for him. Whatever we get for him, it ain't going to be worth shit. Wouldn't be worth anything. Like, what's the incentive to doing that? And he not assing out. Like, I don't know, man. I'm all for especially when you got good players. I like all the players that want to be here. And Zion comes across like he want to be here. I don't see him doing anything to show he don't want to be here. Yeah, unfortunate injury luck, some immaturity issues. Obviously, he's done a lot of stuff. But horrible leadership, horrible coaching. Like, we didn't really have a structure to set him up to do the right thing. So I'm not saying he's not at fault at all. But I'm like, man, look at the hand he was dealt. So you got somebody come in that know what they're doing. I think they could turn a lot of this around relatively quickly. But, those draft picks we lost, all those draft picks we lost, that just is what it is. She ain't going to pay a competent GM. Well, I think Miss Benson is taken advantage of, man. David Griffin getting the bag, from what I understand. I don't think he underpaid. Just picked the wrong person. She went off with somebody. She probably liked how he was talking, and he seems like a nice man and all of that. Just horrible backing and somebody really directing her. I put that on Dennis Lauscher. Obviously, the owner is supposed to be the backbone and have the final say, but I don't think Miss Benson knows enough about basketball operations to strategically pick a GM. And obviously, Dennis Lauscher doesn't either. So they went with somebody who talked a good game. He had a good interview, man. He sold them with some nice talking points. I mean, he's the people who hired Albert Gentry because he came up and there was some fancy charts and all of that. At least that's what Dale Demp said. So I don't think it's that we can't pay a competent GM. A lot of stuff I see Gail will pay. It's just the people she chooses to pay the wrong people. They're just stealing her money. It's not going to be worth its value. They ruined him. I don't know about that. Somebody who averaging 24, 7 and 5. I don't see him as ruined. And he only 24, like Stacey. I don't think it's over. DC if the Pels. Same. I got the first overall pick in 2025. What would be your reaction if that happened? Shit, I guess you're going to have to wait and see, man. I don't even know because I think that shit is unbelievable. But I would definitely be ecstatic, man. I think that'd change a lot. That'd change a lot. Just getting that one guy would definitely change a lot. So we'll have to wait and see, though. I don't know how I'll react, man. It's horrible leadership. Easy money today. Can't be mad. If we get the first overall, I'm delusionally back. Yeah. Master P spoke so highly of Tom Benson. I mean, I don't know Tom Benson personally, but I know we haven't had any winning products in New Orleans sports pretty much. We've had a few seasons here there. We had that Jazz team with Pistol Pete. That was exciting. You had Dawn Patrol. Had a few other teams with the Saints, man. We had the Jim Haslett Saints with Aaron Brooks. But prior to Tom Benson, and then, Jim Haslett, that was Tom Benson. But prior to him, we ain't really had much winning, with the Saints, man. So I could see him speaking highly of him in that aspect, but you sound like he's speaking like he knew him personally. But he definitely brought winning to us as far as the Saints, man. And the Pels too. Because he took that over, renamed them from the Hornets. The Hornets were in the dumps, And they got Anthony Davis, and they, looked to be on the right track. Did have Dell Demps there, but Mr. Benson passed away. Never didn't re-sign DeMarcus Cousins. That messed our reputation up for a while. AD got out of here, and now we got what we got. Oh, they ruined his reputation is what I mean. Oh, yeah, I got you, Stacey. Say, DC, I love Miss Benson, but she too soft to make a tough decision. Yeah. He said Tom Benson gave Master P his first job as a teenager. That's interesting. But look, fam, we got to do this tomorrow. And I didn't overstay my welcome longer than I initially wanted to. But y'all had some fire-ass questions, man. It's always a good show when I ask y'all to start putting some stuff in the comment, man. Y'all be coming up with some stuff. So shout out to everybody in the chat. I hope I answered y'all questions to the best of my abilities. Definitely enjoyed being here tonight, talking to y'all, man, because I really didn't feel like doing this shit. After watching Pels game, man, he just be so out of it. But looking forward to to 2025, 2026. Definitely, lift your spirits up a little bit. And talking to y'all, man, y'all make this enjoyable and we're doing so. Shout out to y'all, man. True MVP, especially tonight's show. But on that note, I'm going to have to say Tank Pels. And I'll see y'all later, man. We turn around, be right back here tomorrow. So please like, share, and subscribe to the show. For all things Pelicans, it's your boy, DC, signing out, man. Y'all be blessed. And y'all come in tomorrow. I don't know if we're gonna do a call-in show. Gotta get with Big Q on that. But maybe we'll have a call-in show tomorrow. Y'all come express y'all opinions and I ain't gotta read all y'all damn comments. You heard me? So peace out, man. Go Pels.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network. For all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican, ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's something, don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumping where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, Big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever.